you are going to get to the place where no matter what's going on around you, everything could fall apart and your heart would still be full of love. Hello, you wild and sexy creature. Welcome to Practice Intimacy. It is Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day. I hope that every day is Love Day for you. And today's the day where we get to celebrate often romantic love, but honestly, I think you could celebrate every single type of love, which is why today what we're talking about is the 8 different types of love according to the Greeks. And I will probably butcher some of the words. That's part of this. I have only read them. I have not heard most of them said. So if I say it wrong, feel free to correct me, and also, sorry. So there are some that are thought to be less good than others. Let's start with those. So the very first one would be Mania. This is obsessive love. This is the kind of love where a person might stalk someone, or in a less extreme version, you might obsessively be thinking about someone, and that takes you away from your life. That takes you away from existing in the world in a way that feels good. It also takes you away from experiencing other kinds of love that would be more fulfilling. And so Mania, let's think of it as the very bottom of the ladder, maybe the basement, because it's not the kind of love you want. This would be like toxic love. The next type of love that the ancient Greeks talked about was Eros, which this is what most people are really familiar with. This is passionate love. This is lust. This is seeing an individual and being so taken in by their beauty that you just want them. And this particular kind of love actually was not thought of as bad. It was the very first step into getting to a place where you experience deeper love. And so this kind of infatuation, lust-filled space, this passionate love where maybe you don't even really know a person, you just find them beautiful. It's not a bad thing. It's actually very exciting and fun. This is like the earliest experiences of love for some people, but it may not hold the same depth. It's not going to hold the same depth as the other types of love that I'm going to go through. And so it's not bad, but it's also just a first step to really experiencing what is possible in love. And so the next form of love would be called Philia. It's deep friendship, the kind of love you would have for your friends. And so I think of this one as the kind of love you would have for your chosen family. It is a long-lasting friendship, platonic sort of love that is based on similar values and similar desires in this lifetime, and a commitment to being there for each other. And so this would be a step above just Eros, passionate love, where you're actually getting to know the person, and it's not just about how they look, it's about who they are. Another form of love would be Pragma. Pragma. I'm probably saying it wrong. Pragma. It is practical love. It is the kind of committed love where you choose to be with someone over a long period of time. Often it could be translated to standing in love. So it's the difference between falling in love, oh, I love this person, I'm falling for them, versus I actually see who this person is. I see their humanity, I see their imperfections, and I am choosing to stay committed. I'm choosing to stand in love, even as it's hard over many, many decades of being together. And so this one's more about choice and commitment. It's what you might think of whenever you consider a marriage. Initially, it might start off with Eros, but eventually it's going to turn into a choice. Are we going to stay together knowing each other's imperfections and humanity? Another form would be Ludus. Ludus, it's like playful love. It's like flirty love. And so this one would be honestly interwoven throughout all of the different kinds. I know that in ancient Greek, they often talked about this one as more of like the early stages of relationship, where you're really playful, you're giggly, you're laughing, you're flirting with someone, you're getting to know them, you're courting. But I think that Ludus is actually something that we need to cultivate throughout the entire experience of our relationship, in all of them. Like, flirt with your friends, flirt with your partner, flirt with random strangers that you find intriguing. And when I say flirt, I don't mean try and get them into bed. I mean, be playful. enjoy, laugh with them, get out of your conditioning that says, oh goodness, don't be too big, don't be too loud, I'm not good enough, I can't exist, and instead just show up and play. Enjoy yourself. And so I love this form of love. Ludus is a particularly sweet one in my opinion, when you make it a practice in your life. Another form of love would be Storge. That's what we're gonna go with. I don't actually know. This is familial love. This is the kind of love that family members have for each other. And it's a little different than Philia, the friendship, deep friendship sort of love, because when it's family members, you have a shared history, you have shared blood, and that does just make things a little bit different. And the way I think about this one is like when a baby is born and they look like a squishy little space monkey who's not actually very cute, but the parents are like, oh my God, you're the cutest baby in the whole wide world. Like, to me, that's a perfect example of Storge, familial love, where you're bonded. You are part of each other's bloodline. You are part of each other's genetics, even though we all are part of each other's genetics, but a little bit closer genetics whenever it's your kids or your parents. And so there's a certain kind of bond there. And then let's talk about the last two. These might be my favorites. I love most of them. It's hard to choose favorites, but there's Agape, which is unconditional love. This is selfless love. This is the kind of love that you might experience for the whole of humanity, or for a random stranger that you've never actually spoken to, but you see them and you just feel this deep, I love you. You're part of creation and that's beautiful, I love you. And then the last one, the one that I often love helping people work on, would be self-love. I always get it wrong. Philautia? Philautia? That's what we're going to go with, Philautia. When the Greeks spoke about this, they put it in two different terms. There was a negative form of self-love and there was a positive form of self-love. Negative forms would look like narcissism, seeking to just take care of yourself, not caring who you harm, not caring how it affects others, but amplifying your status and your wealth and your pleasure in this world, not caring for others. That, I don't think, is loving. I don't think it's self-love. I think that it is narcissistic for sure. I think it is grandiose, and that maybe that person would live a life where they feel happy, but I do not believe it's actually fulfilling. Because without relationships, without real close relationships, human beings suffer. Like, all of the research points to that. We are creatures who need community. We are organisms that actually thrive by being around each other. And so if you're operating from a narcissistic place, sure, you might accumulate a lot of things. You might even live a life where you're like, that was great, I had a great time. I don't think it's as fulfilling. So that one, I don't know if you should strive for that. But what Greeks would call the positive form of Philautia would be self-love, where you're actually caring for yourself, where you're actually choosing to nurture your body, choosing to nurture your soul, choosing to live in a way that you are promoting the best life for yourself, including making sure that you are taking care of others. Because you are not going to be full of love. It's not possible to be full of love unless you're accounting for other people, their experience of you, and your experience in relationship. So I hope that on this day of love, these different definitions help you to really understand where you're at, where you could possibly grow. And my hope always for everyone watching this is that you are going to get to the place where no matter what's going on around you, everything could fall apart and your heart would still be full of love. And you could still feel compassion and kindness and joy and deep, deep wisdom in this lifetime, knowing that there's always love possible. Even in really dark places, there's always the possibility to bring more love and kindness. Okay, I'm sending you tons of love. Happy Valentine's Day. I will see you next time.